I've heard a lot of women saying that all men are cheats. Some have even gone to the extent of calling all men dogs. But do you think this is true? Personally, I don't believe so. Not all men are cheats, okay? And you can't call a man a dog. It's so wrong. And in this video, I'm going to debunk all of that. Now, I sat down with 3 men to talk about men and cheating. My dear, the things they told me will shock you. In fact, you will discover that their reasons are, far off than the generic ones we all know. Welcome back to Glodikani Marriage School, the place where we help the unmarried to choose right and to keep the married from running until they must. My main aim here is to bring a semblance of order to an otherwise chaotic institution. Now, if you love what I am doing, please share the videos, and if you've not subscribed, do so now. Even if you don't need what I'm saying, there's someone there who needs all these things I'm talking about. Believe me, all we want to do is to make sure our marriages work and at least get a little bit happier than what it is now. At the beginning of this video, I told you that I sat down with 3 men to talk about marriage, men, and cheating and everything. Okay, the first man I talked with told me something. He said that a man cheating on his wife doesn't mean that he doesn't love the wife, that a man can tumble with maybe a side chick or anybody just now, and you will see him making haste to run back to his wife at home. Now, what does that tell you? Maybe he's I don't know his reason, but of course that's what the man said. He said a man can have sex with a woman, another woman who is not his wife, and then after the whole tumbling, he will just run away to go home and meet his own wife. Maybe he's more comfortable with his wife than whatever it is he has just completed doing. I know you might be shocked with this. I mean, this is what the man told me. Now, I think what this thing proves is that a man can sleep with a woman he is not emotionally attached to. Like, he can sleep with a woman he doesn't love, but he loves his wife, and he's also just having maybe sex just for having sake, or maybe to distress or anything. That's what it means. The second man I talked to told me another thing interesting. I asked him, why do you think men cheat on their wives? He said something. He said, a man expects his wife to be soft and all cuddly, that softness that many men don't have. Of course, we don't expect any man to be a soft person. We want our men to be men, all right? So now he said men expect their wives to be soft. But when their wives start forming like, being in charge or trying to show themselves that what a man can do, a woman can also do better and all that, the man will start feeling as if he is living in a house with another man. This is what the second man told me. Now, the third man I spoke with told me that many men view sex as a tool to distress, that when a man's head is so full and maybe their wives cannot give them what they are expecting at that particular time, so many of them will now rely on their side chick, who are always available and ready to satisfy maybe that urge at that time. So they just see it as a tool for reducing stress. Now, I've told you what these 3 men told me, okay? So I've shared their information. Now let's come back. When it comes to marriage, there are 3 types of men you will meet. Those men who don't cheat, situational cheaters, and then addicts, chronic cheats, okay? Now, I did a little research, and those chronic cheats, some health blogs call them sex addicts. So these are the 3 types of men you will meet when it comes to marriage and cheating. There are men who don't cheat. But then there are those who cheat maybe due to the situation they find themselves. Of course, I'm going to explore that a little. Then there are those who can't help but cheat. Those are those ones people say they are polygamous in nature, because you can't tell me that all the men out there are polygamous in nature. No, there are some men that cannot even sleep with 2 women at all. In their lives, they will not. Okay, yeah, those men are those ones with what? Integrity. they've made the decision and they are sticking to it. I know that many of you will be thinking that, well, what is she talking about? How can a man not cheat? Let me tell you something. Those men who are not cheating right now decided not to do it. It's their personal decision. It's not that they are not capable, okay, of cheating, or they don't know what the cheaters do. They do know, but they've decided not to cheat, okay? Now, let me tell you something. There are some men who cheat because of the situation they found themselves, and I call them the situational cheats. Now, these men cheat maybe because of peer influence, because, some men, when they gather, they talk about a lot of things. Some people say women gossip a lot, but let me tell you, men can gossip. Now, some of their friends may be, cajoling them or telling them, you are not man enough, you are not doing this, you are not doing that. What do you mean? You are far from your family, you are far from your wife, and you are not doing like a man. Now, stop following your hand and all that. There are a lot of ways they put pressure on them, and before you know it, they will start cheating. This is one of the reasons some situational cheats do so. Another reason situational cheats succumb to temptation is maybe when it has to do with their work. Some men leave their wives and relocate to other towns because of their work. Some men who did not relocate may find themselves spending more time away from their wives, okay, than with their wives. Now, when men are exposed in such environment or such work related temptations, they may fall. Okay, this is another reason situational cheats succumb. Another interesting reason these situational cheats fall to temptation is, I call it, wife related factors. The first one is maybe nagging. If a man has a nagging wife at home, sometimes they may have one side chick there who will now be calming them down and who is not a nag, trying to understand their feeling. Maybe their wife is nagging them too much and that side chick is there for them. It may not start as a side chick relationship. It may just develop into such a relationship, okay? Another thing is datiness. We've all established the fact that men are moved by what they see. Now, if you are a wife and you don't know how to keep yourself, you don't know how to package yourself, maybe because you've gotten married, I've achieved my highest aim or I've achieved my highest ambition, you now leave yourself, you now let go and let loose, man, you may push your husband into cheating. All men love what is packaged very well. So even at home as a wife, you really need to be packaging yourself very well, okay? Don't show everything. This one is not about show walking. Don't show everything. You need that little mystery when it comes to your body. And remember, when a woman starts having babies, okay, her body changes. So anytime you are with your husband, try as much as possible to look presentable. Apart from being date or being a nag, another thing that women do to push these situational cheats to temptation is ingratitude. If a man is trying his best to make sure his home is okay, the wife is okay, the children are okay, a wife should learn to appreciate him. Because if you don't appreciate him, another small girl out there will appreciate him for you and you fall. Another thing is excessive demands. Please don't increase his stress with all this demand. You want to do this, you want to have this, you want to have this all the time. No, try as much as possible to understand. When you don't, you are pushing your husband away. We also have things or factors like dehumanization or maybe lack of attention. Let me tell you something. Some women will go ahead and be calling their husband useless husband. Funny enough, those husbands are not useless. I mean, those women who actually have useless husbands don't even call them. But those ones now that have responsible husbands will open their mouth and be saying, useless man, useless husband. Is it not your mates that are doing this? Maybe because the man did not meet up to what you expect at that particular time, he has turned useless. You don't know you are demeaning him and you are dehumanizing him. If somebody out there appreciates him, you are a goner. Another one is lack of attention. Please think about your husband from time to time. Even though you have kids, your husband is also a priority. Try to make sure you pay attention to him. Make sure you give him food. Make sure you give him whatever it is he wants. And this is how you show attention to him. Now, if you've discovered that your husband who was not cheating on you has just cheated on you, okay, maybe the information came to you and you know that he's not a chronic cheat. Maybe he's a one-off offender. What can you do? I think you just have to find out if the reason he cheated on you is related to you. If it's something that is related to you, you try as much as possible to stop whatever it is you did that pushed him to cheating on you. Then another thing I recommend is what? Forgiving him. Please, you can forgive him. After all, God forgives us on so many occasions. You can forgive him and at least try as much as possible to encourage him not to do so. Please don't go about belittling your husband because he cheated on you. If you make him feel less of a man and someone out there is making him feel much of a man, you're going to lose him, all right? Another thing you should avoid doing is confrontation. Some women go about fighting their husband's side chick or trying to discover who it was he cheated on them with, and then they will go about disgracing themselves, fighting her. When you do it, you've already sold your own self-respect. Please avoid that. Then the worst thing you must avoid is cheating back. I came across a video, one trending video one time. A woman was encouraging women whose husband cheated on to cheat back. I will never encourage anybody to do that. Please don't sell your own self-respect or expose yourself to rubbish because a man cheated on you. Avoid those kind of instructions. I know some women may not like what I just said about not cheating back. Please, that one is an advice from the pit of hell. As a woman, never you think of cheating back on your husband because he cheated on you. Remember what I said earlier. Men sometimes sleep with other people because of some situations. Some use it to, as a way of distressing or reducing stress. I'm not encouraging cheating. I'm just being real. Okay? So if you as a woman, you go about cheating, let me tell you, you have already lost your emotional attachment to your husband, because a woman will find it difficult to sleep with someone who she doesn't have any emotional feeling for. Okay, but men can do it and it doesn't affect them anyway. I mean, a side chick who insults a wife of a man may receive a dirty slap from him because of that. So think about it. Now let's talk about the third man you will meet in marriage, and these are the chronic cheats. If you believe that all men are polygamous in nature, these men are more polygamous in nature than other men, okay? Now, you may think they are doing it because they want to do it. No, I did a little research and I discovered that there are men who are actually sex addicts. According to my findings on Google, these men, they say sex addiction refers to excessive sexual thoughts, desires, urges or behaviors that can't be controlled. Now, Healthline called them hypersexuality or compulsive sexual disorder. Now, if you are married to this type of men, you are in trouble unless you come to realize that these men are sex addicts. There is nothing you can do about them. In fact, I dug a little bit deeper, okay? I read 3 websites on this sex addiction, and according to what they said, the only treatment for this, you can imagine it has treatment. They said medication, psychotherapy, and self-help support groups. I will link some of the sites I read on sex addiction in the description so that you can go and explore them more. So if your husband is jumping from one skirt to the other and you've talked and talked, made trouble and made all the complaints you can, and he's not stopping, maybe he is sexually addicted. If you cannot bear it, if you are not capable of waiting for the treatment to work and maybe your heart is breaking all the time, there are things you can do. Number 1, you can pack your bags and leave. You know why this is serious is because if a man contracts any disease, if such a man who is jumping from Patience to Paulina, from Paulina to Chioma, from Chioma to Priska gets any disease, you are in trouble. Of course, he will share it with you. Another thing you can do is to do what? Lock up. If you don't want to lock up, you can use protection always. But remember, these things used to do what? Fail. Okay, so I'm not even recommending that. I think the best thing is to lock up finally and tell him to go ahead, or you can pack your bags and go. But if you have kids, you may not want to pack your bag like that and go because he's a sex addict. I can hear you think, why not suggest praying for him? Good luck with that. Some people don't change no matter how many times you pray for them, okay? And unless God or the Holy Spirit decide to change him, maybe a miracle will happen. But for me, I'm not going to say start praying for him. Okay, there you have it, marriage scholars. If your husband is cheating on you right now, find out the category where he belongs. If he is a situational cheat, of course, you can, put some things in action like we've suggested. But if he's a sex addict, I've told you what you can do. It has treatment, okay? If you can bear it, support him. After all, he's supposed to be your life partner. But if you cannot bear it, nobody is stopping you from living, because if he contracts any disease, you are in trouble. You are the first recipient. But if you can stay with him and lock up finally, or maybe use protection if it works for you, there's nothing anybody can say. It's your life to live. But in all, don't have the mindset that all men are cheat. Why am I saying this? What if your husband is not cheating on you right now, and you have already adopted this perspective that all men are cheat, and then you are causing trouble for yourself? So instead of doubting that poor man who is trying his best to live as a man of integrity by not cheating on his wife, try harder to make sure your own husband does not do what? Cheat on you, unless he is a sex addict. Okay, now another thing you have to try harder to do is to like this video. If you enjoyed the content, then share it. If you've not subscribed to the channel, please do so now. This is an adventure that every one of us, we all need it. I'm married, you are married, many people are also going to get married. So share the video, give it a thumbs up, encourage others to subscribe to this channel. If you've not done so, please do so now, and I'll see you in the next video.